Hello, I'm going to introduce you to an awesome product that Marabu has introduced into the market, and it's called Graphics Permanent Markers, and it comes in 24 colors, and we're going to open up the box together so that you can see how pretty the colors are. See that? I already took 3 out so I can do my demo, but I just wanted you to see all the pretty colors that they have. And if you want to open up one of the markers, it has on one end, if you can see this, see it has a little marker side. You do it like that so it's not so blurry. Okay, and you can open it up. See that? And it's almost like a marker. And then on the other side, it's a fine point. Let's bring it down just a tad. Let me do it on the white so you can see it. There you go. So when they say permanent, they mean permanent. You can paint with these, put water on them, put paints on them, and they won't bleed. So it's a great item if you're gonna do some scrapbooking and different things like that. So what I did is, a lot of my students tell me that they can't draw. And I said, okay, so if you can't draw, I had a stencil from Marabu that is a butterfly stencil, and it has all these little designs, all these little butterflies on them, big, little. So what I did is I laid my stencil on my watercolor paper and I cheated and traced it with a little pencil. See that? When you lift it up, there's a design. So you don't even need to know how to draw. So I'm gonna start with the permanent marker, which is black. Okay, and I'm just gonna not use the thick part, see that? Because that's gonna be too thick. I'm gonna go, and you can tell thick and thin, because this is the big cap for thick, and this is the little cap for thin, okay? And I'm going to just outline. You can always erase these pencil marks later. I'm gonna outline my little butterfly. And here's the little head. And let's put some designs on here, because we're very creative, aren't we? Okay, so now we have the flower. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this pretty pink, right? And I'm gonna trace that, but I'm gonna trace the outside with my thick part of the marker. See that? Do the other one. And the leaves obviously are gonna be green. So I'm gonna take a little bit of this and just do the insides of my butterfly for now. We'll add some more color later. And the little body here. Okay, and I'm gonna turn it over, and I'm gonna use the thin side of my marker for the inside of my petals. And this is a rose, right? So now we need a little bit of green. So I'm gonna take 2 greens out. I'm gonna take a light green and a darker green. So light and dark. And I'm gonna trace my little stems here with my thin marker, just to make some designs. Okay, and I'm gonna take my thick marker, which is this one. Let's see, oops, there we go. Okay, and I'm gonna shade a little bit here on the inside to give it some strong edges. Now you're gonna say, okay, what else is she gonna do with that? So what I'm gonna do is, Marabu has another product that I love, and it's called the Graphics sketch marker. And what these are sketch markers, but if you notice, they have a number. Let's see if we can get that so that it doesn't, I'll take the cap off. See the number? That 948 matches the same color of any product that Marabu has with the 948. So if you have graphic water inks or anything like that and you want to match them, this would be the things that you would be using. And I am going to use this pretty red color here, and it has again a chisel edge and it has a fine edge right here. So let's say we wanted to shade around the little butterfly first. I'm gonna take this one here, which is color 991, and I'm gonna take not the fine point but the chisel edge, and I'm gonna go on the outside of my butterfly. And highlight my background a little bit to give it like a little shade. And I'm gonna go a little bit further out here because I have some papers that I want to put on here, and I just don't want my papers to go on top of my butterfly. And I'm gonna come in here to hide the little white spots, see that? And I'm only gonna do this on the right side. I'm not gonna do this on the left side. And let's see how it comes out. Maybe we like it, maybe we hate it, who knows? But if we don't try it, we won't know. Okay. I'm gonna take a little bit of the pink one that they have. And this one is color 906. And I'm gonna again take the chisel edge and I'm gonna come in here and put some color into my roses. And this is great if you're scrapbooking and you're really not a painter and you go like, you know, I really want something to look really good, or I want to send a card to somebody that's not feeling too good. But what I like about this is you can blend the colors, and I'm going to show you how in 1 second. Okay, so we have those colors there, and I'm going to take my light green and I'm going to take the chisel edge, and it's almost like coloring with a coloring book, but it looks really cool if you ask me. Now let's see, we're going to take a little bit of that red, and this is color 937, and I'm just going to come here on the edge. I'm going to turn this over because I'm right-handed and I have to turn my hand, and I'm going to highlight a little bit of these petals here so that they stand out, but not every one of them, just, you know, little areas here and there. Oh, that looks really good so far. I like it. So for a butterfly, I want my butterfly to have a little bit more color. So this is color 925. So I'm gonna come here with a little bit of my orange, and I can go over a little bit of my pink and it just makes it darker. See that? And you can see the pink underneath it. Okay, so earlier I had done some papers with some gel press papers, and now I want to glue some of them over here so that they match and they look pretty with our background. So these are kind of the papers that I did. So I gotta find one that I think would go with that. So I think this one here would help. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna rip my paper and I'm gonna put this towards the edge of my paper right here. And the good thing, it has lines in it because I can do a straight line if you pay me. So see that? I'm gonna rip it off right there. And I'm gonna take a little bit of gel medium, if I can find my brush, here it is. And I'm gonna just put a little gel medium on my paper here and glue my paper. Rip this off a little bit so it doesn't take away from my butterfly. Go over this. So I'm gonna put a little bit more. So we're just kind of centering our design so that it's not floating in midair, right? The background needs to have something in it. So I'm just gonna put it this way. Rip that little corner off. See that? And then on the top, remember we said we wanted to do something on the top? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this paper that I had earlier, and it doesn't have that much paint on it. And I'm just gonna rip it and find a spot up here that I like. So I'm gonna take this area off. See how far we can go with it. And I'm gonna measure the end of my paper. Maybe this way. I like that a little bit better. So I'm going to put a little medium up on my paper here. And then when it dries, I can cut the excess off. See all this little extra that's on here. See how it doesn't bleed? I put the medium on my, see, so all of that I'm gonna cut off later. All this excess here on the side. And if you wanted to, you can take your markers and I'm gonna take the chisel edge of it, and I'm just gonna come here and do some little highlighting in my centers. Pretend this is another flower. And I'm gonna put some blue in here to make it look like they're coming into each other. So now it looks like they're all playing nicely together in there, right? So I'm gonna bring my gray a little bit further out. And see, it doesn't matter that I have my medium on it, it still paints. So I'm just gonna take my blue and blend it a little bit more. There we go. Okay. So try it on your sketchbooks, see how you like it. I'm gonna bring my little gray a little bit further up. I don't like all that white up there. And make it a little bit lighter. And there you go. Any questions, shoot me an email, chriscruzdesigns@gmail.com. And I want to thank Marabu for supplying the great sketch markers and permanent markers, and give it a try. I will be coming out with more videos that will show you different things you can do with them. And thank you for always watching.